welcome to the 2013 Race Across America. I'm Dave Toll, and we're here on June 11th getting ready for what's going to be a very exciting 14 days of racing from here on out. It is a beautiful day in Oceanside. The sun is shining, the temperature is very close to 70 degrees with a light wind coming out of the west. Perfect conditions for our solo riders and team riders that are competing in the Race Across the West, as well as all of our solo men and women who are taking the start today in our Race Across America. So with the conditions as good as you could possibly hope for, we're expecting for our solo riders to really pour it on as they leave Oceanside. Now, the start is being done in 1-minute intervals between the riders, and it's been seeded based on your previous performances at RAAM, meaning the most recent winner will be the last rider to start, and then it really is just based on how you've done at this event in the past. We mentioned yesterday that all of these riders are highly qualified. You don't just sign up to do this event. This is something that you've been preparing for years, if not a lifetime. We have 3 former winners with us, as we all want to honor, of course, Yuri Robich, the 5-time winner. We'll see if any of these guys can join Yuri as a 5-time winner of this event, because we're certainly expecting records to be set. It was Pete Pensiers back in 1986, unbelievably, almost 30 years ago. It was the fastest ride that we've ever seen at Race Across America. But with all the 1% that we're adding up this year, including the great conditions at the start, the fact that bicycle technology has improved, the fact that the nutrition and physiology that the riders have now has improved, we're certainly expecting this to be a record-breaking year for our solo riders. And we'll see how close to 8 days they're going to be able to get. Bicycles are very much like computers as far as the industry behind the vehicles or the technology goes. They have both seen rapid advancements in the last few years. And I think for a lot of reasons at this year's Race Across America, you're going to see records broken. The technology available with GPS, the accuracy, and the availability of information about how you're doing, and maybe more importantly, how your competitors are doing out on course, should make this a very motivated solo race. It's the information and the data and all of the metrics that the teams have available to them now that really has changed the game out there. This 2013 RAAM is going to be a very, very unique edition. When you look at the physiology of these riders, they are all unbelievable endurance athletes, and it does come down to the 1% that we talk about. Who had a good night's sleep? You can look at so many different things that could affect the start of this bike race. For the rider who had a fire alarm go off in his hotel at 2 o'clock in the morning, that will be a distinct disadvantage for a racer in the first 12 hours of the event today. And you really are going to want to pour it on with the conditions being really ideal right now in Oceanside. The riders will want to take advantage of that and try to put as many miles underneath their wheels as they can. The fact that all of these guys face similar conditions out on course is one thing, but how you've prepared is another. And certainly trying to front load your sleep, your hydration, and all of the physiological factors that you can is a great idea. It's not always something that's possible, but it's something that's desirable. The Race Across America is won not only by what you've done on the bike, but also by what you've done off the bike. The preparation for these riders, and it really is worth noting, to be competitive in this year's event as a soloist, you've been riding your bike really close to, if not more than 30,000 miles a year, which is significantly more than most people would put on their car during an average year. So with these guys all coming to this event so prepared, you really do have to look at how did things go just in the last few days, the travel, and certainly how has your team's organization been. It's the central nervous system of these riders that you really, really look at. Now, we've talked a little bit about the men and women who compete in this event. There's a healthy respect that they have for each other, but there's also a lot of proprietary knowledge that these teams have. The techniques that they use to get through these first days and the strategy that they deploy is something that they will keep very, very close to the vest. They don't want the other teams to know what their plan is. We're certainly expecting for most of the top riders the strategy to be to go out hard today, to try to once again get yourself into the extremely hot desert, and we're hearing reports of temperatures approaching 120 degrees in Mojave. Well, you want to be riding through that region at night, clearly, when it's going to be much cooler than it is in the middle of the day. So having a good start to this event is going to be critical. You're not going to win the Race Across America on day one, but you could lose it. Our all-new RAAMrace.org website has as much information as you could possibly want on all of our riders, where they are, how they're doing, and certainly how they're doing in relation to their competitors. It's a 3,000-mile trip across America, and we're glad to have you joining us for each and every mile. Live tracking is going to be a lot of fun to watch. You'll be able to see a really neat overview of the country, and you're going to be able to zoom in on not only our solo riders, but our teams and the 53 checkpoints that are represented on the route. And that's a really good look at the route across the United States here, as the riders will be facing some pretty significant vertical challenges at the start of the event. You can actually see what is a really good look at the course profile each day. Well, the Race Across America is an event not only for men, but women as well. And we have the greatest ultra-endurance cyclist of all time of the female gender in our field this year, the only rider who's won this event 6 times, and that's Shauna Hogan. She'll be going for her 7th win here this year. Her first win was back in 1992, so the longevity that we've seen from Shauna Hogan has been amazing. If you think about it, she's basically raced around the globe multiple times in her career. Shauna Hogan has one danger woman to worry about, and that would certainly be Maria Parker this year. It's going to be very interesting to watch as the race just makes its way into the first 12 hours, what Parker's strategy is going to be in trying to unseat really the greatest Race Across America champion of all time. In our women's race, it is clearly a battle of the top athletes in the world who happen to be American. In the men's event, it's a much more global affair this year. We're certainly looking to see who the top American rider will be, as it's been a few years since an American has actually won at the Race Across America. Our defending champion, a Swiss rider, has got a Swiss compatriot with him in this field that very easily could go 1-2 this year. As we get ready to start the riders from Oceanside, it'll be our defending champion, the last rider to start, Rito Schock, who will be watching very closely. He's a Swiss rider, along with his compatriot, Danny Wiest. These are 2 of the big favorites racing from Europe here with us. There's another European rider of note, and that man is clearly going to be one of the biggest danger men here, is Christoph Strasser, the Austrian. Now, we also take a look to a very strong Asian competitor joining us this year, Ki-jong Kim, racing out of the Republic of South Korea, as this really is an international affair. It's going to be the top rider from around the world that wins this year's Race Across America. When you look back to the first edition, how much things have changed, where 4 American friends get together to challenge themselves, 4 elite ultra-endurance athletes. Well, now this becomes the most desirable title to win in ultra-endurance sports. Christoph Strasser coming in with some of the best recordable form, that's for sure, as he just won the Tour of Italy over the last month. We are anticipating some record-setting rides at the 2013 edition of the Race Across America. You have to go all the way back to 1986 to find our record-setting ride. That was Pete Pensiers, an American, who put the bar very, very high, and we really haven't seen anyone even come that close over the last 26 years. This is the year when you look at all of the changes in the sport and the technology outside of the sport that our athletes and teams use now. It's not just information on the bike, it's the GPSs that each rider has with them and the data that the teams are able then to track on not only yourself, but maybe more importantly, your competitors. As there is no question that these riders will push each other beyond anything that we've ever seen before. And if you're going to set a world record, typically you need to be pushed all the way to the line. And that finish line in Annapolis, Maryland, we're anticipating seeing a record set this year. It was just last year in 2012 that we watched the fastest ever ride across the nation. That was a 5-day, 5-hour, and 5-minute trip. The team was Team Viasat. They were an 8-rider squad who this year they're going to watch their record being challenged. His Team Allied Forces has put together a very strong squad, and they've taken a comprehensive look at how they're going to break this record. And I think that they not only believe that they can go under that time, I think they think that they can go under 5 days, and that would be the first time in the history of man it's been done. Well, as the riders are rolling out into the desert, it's going to be very fun to watch on ramrace.org how far they're able to get here on day one of the 2013 Race Across America, powered by Train. We're really excited to have you following along out there, and we're really encouraged by the number of metrics that we can show you from this event. So in Oceanside, it's been a beautiful, beautiful day. I think a karma rebate was offered up for all of our athletes that have trained so hard getting ready for this edition of RAAM. We look forward to having you joining us here each evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, as well as riding the line. They're going to have some great stuff coming from out on course each day as we have minute-by-minute coverage coming from this edition of RAAM for you. Along with everyone on our RAAM team, I'm Dave Toll saying thanks a lot for joining us on the ride.